I would like to preface this by saying these episodes are not easy to make. The last 2 weeks have been a hot mess because of eclipse energy, and I just have not had the energy to do anything at all, no matter how hard I try. This was a period of rest for me, definitely, so that I could come back into the space, rejuvenated. Sometimes I want to go so hard every week, like I'm going to get an episode out, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then life happens, and I'm like, you know what, I think I'm going to rest. I think I'm going to take a break. And that's me breaking out of my program, thinking I have to be working all of the time. So over the past couple weeks, I've been watching a lot of movies, and because of the energy, I've been looking at everything from a philosophical standpoint. And there was a time I was watching WandaVision again. That came out like 2 years ago. Now, if you watch any Marvel movies, you'll know that WandaVision, or not just WandaVision, but Marvel movies take from mythology, whether that be Greek or mythology from ancient Kemet. And you don't look at it as a silly kid show anymore. If you know this, you're kind of tuned in and you're saying, okay, this is what this show is actually about. So I'm watching it, and Wanda, I don't want to give the show away because it's a lot that you have to take in, especially if you haven't seen all the movies, but Wanda essentially creates a world where she's back with Vision again. Again, if you haven't seen it, please look up the synopsis. I know it might sound kind of rude me not telling you, but there's too much to try to fit in one episode with this. And Vision, who is now a fiction of her existence because he's died in Avengers Endgame or Infinity War, whichever one, I can't remember, there were two of them. He's questioning, is he the real Vision? Because then another Vision appears, and it's his alter ego or his opposite. And so there's a point in the show where they're having this debate about the ship of Theseus. The ship of Theseus is a philosophical question that's been asked for a very long time now, and I thought it'd be fun to sit and talk about it a little bit and my thoughts on it. So the ship of Theseus is an artifact in a museum. Over time, the ship's wood begins to rot and is replaced with new planks. When no original plank remains, is it still the ship of Theseus? If the removed planks are restored and reassembled free of rot, is that the ship of Theseus? Neither is the true ship, and both are the true ship. Vision 1 says he has no mind stone, and again, the stones have a big part in the whole show, but let's just say he has no mind stone, meaning he has no way to control, what's going on in his pineal gland. And Vision 2 says he has no ounce of original material, so he's not the original either. Vision 1 goes on to say perhaps the rot on the ship are the memories and the wear and tear of the voyages, the wood touched by Theseus himself. Vision 2 has no retained memories, but he has a body full of data. And Vision 1, it tells him it's being kept from you. Vision 2 says he's a weapon to be poisoned and controlled. Vision 1, when asked, says he once had an idea that he was the original, but upon meeting the other Vision, it's challenged who he thought he was. And I'm paraphrasing, but that's what I took from it. Vision 1 tells Vision 2 that he's a carbon-based synthezoid, and his memory is not easily wiped because he's a higher form of technology. Vision 2 allows Vision 1 to tap his pineal gland, which, funny enough, looks like a SIM card. So that's pretty obvious what that is, and I'll show visuals. And at that point, when he does that, it's like he puts him into a shamanic trance almost, and all of a sudden you see like a whole reel of his memories being restored. And so at that point, they realize that they are one. So I do a lot of energy work, and I know that there are a lot of people coming to this point where they're trying to figure out who they are and what they're here to do. And when you've been running certain programs in your life for so long, it's like, how do you even find out who that is? And a lot of people are turning, obviously, as we know, to sacred medicines to kind of help restore those memories. But a lot of people are still kind of being left confused. And on my last episode, I talked about my DMT experience, one where I was shown exactly who I was. And I'm going to tell you guys, 2 weeks later, I still like question it every day. I'm like, was I just seeing things? Was I hallucinating? But no, I was actually given visions of who I was and who I am, because it's the same person, no matter what body form that I'm in. So let's kind of go into it a little bit. The ship of Theseus is an artifact in a museum, and over time, the ship's wood begins to rot and is replaced with new planks. So I look at it this way. We're born into these bodies in this life, and we look at ourselves as brand new beings when we're born, but the truth is we're made up of DNA that has gone through trials and tribulations over a long period of time. We're not brand new beings who just came out of the blue. You know, we are reincarnated several times over many lines, especially if our lines have not done the spiritual work to come out of this simulation that we're living in right now. And they say over time, the ship's wood begins to rot. So let's take it to what Vision says. Perhaps the rot are the memories. The rot, the hard things you go through, the trials and the tribulations, the generational patterns and curses that you say that you have. Those are the memories of your ancestors, the things that have gone on. So like if you have a problem in your relationship, or, you know, you have problems with money or things like that, that's not your doing specifically, not in this life. This is genetic. This has happened over time. And then he says the wear and tear are the voyages. So we're talking about your grandfather, your great-grandfather, your great-great-grandfather. Everything that they've done is a part of the voyage to you becoming who you are. And when we're going through things in everyday life, we don't really sit back and realize, like, man, my great-grandparents must have gone through some stuff for me to feel this heaviness in my life, for me to, you know, not be able, not that you're not able, but to have to do a lot of work to undo these patterns that have been coded into my programming and coded into my DNA, like I can survive on my own, or I don't have to love anybody, or I don't have to love myself. That's some serious programming and coding going on, and can affect every other part of your life. So it says if removed planks are restored and reassembled free of rot, it's at the ship of Theseus. This kind of goes with me about like spiritual cleansing, and people thinking, oh, if I just do this spiritual work, I've broken the pattern, it's all over. And it's not so easily undone. This is a lot of work it takes to unprogram yourself. And if I had it perfect, like obviously I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd probably be in Zion or Nirvana already, because I understand. But becoming conscious and aware of the programs that are running your life are the first step out of this matrix that we're in. So then they say neither is the true ship, both are the true ship, because you are you right now. You're in your body, you're living your life. You're obviously not living the same life as your ancestors or your great-grandparents, but in a lot of ways you are. Because if you're a makeup of their DNA and who they are and the things that they've done, you are them. You are literally them. They got together to create another human that created you, and so on and so forth. So you are them and you're not them. So Vision 1 has no mind stone. So let's look at that as we're a human in this current existence and experience, but we don't have any memories of who we thought we were. We don't know about, bless you, bless you. We have no real physical evidence of who we were before. Everything has been taken away, from the programming in schools to what we learn, like from our parents, our ways of being. None of that is there. Let's say the memory, it's been wiped, essentially, at least on the physical plane. So if you're not in touch with your spiritual side, you don't really know, like, okay, maybe I was meant to be a great leader, or maybe, you know, I have these gifts where I know how to heal people naturally. And if you're not aware of that, you know, you're not tapped into that. So Vision 2 says he has no ounce of original material. So when we're born into the universe, not like, I'm not talking about your grandparents, but when we were here, we were born perfect beings. And I don't really want to go into the story today about Adam and Eve and our celestial origins, but I will say, let's say we were born perfect. We were born with a binary code, with a masculine and a feminine in our lives. And it wasn't until things started challenging the programming that it got really confusing. We're like, okay, well, who am I? I feel like this today, or I feel like this today. Why doesn't this feel like one person? So because we are still a part of those celestial origins, those light origins, where we come from. Even though we're not in the physical vessel that we once were in, that's still us. No matter what, we are still light beings. No matter what, there is no amount of physical flesh that can change that. And I think that's a hard thing for people to take in. Because when you consider the complexities of life, the things that humans go through, it's like, how am I going to sit here and think about my celestial origins when I got bills to pay? When I have, relationship problems, when I'm trying to figure out how to make it by every day. But you have to remember those. So it goes on where Vision 2 says that he has no retained memories, but he has the data. You don't have the memories, but you have the data. We have our hair, we have our eyes, we have our ears, we have our hands. That's part of that makeup, because our bodies are made up of water, which does hold memory. Now, you may not be able to tap into that memory right now, but it's still a part of who you are. Vision 1 says it's being kept from you, which is absolutely true. Your origin stories, that's not something they put in school textbooks. Why would they? They got to make something up to get you to be a part of the program. And, if you're part of this generation and you're trying to start a spiritual journey, you have to realize that you're going to have to be the one to undo this programming. Nobody's going to do it for you. Your grandparents have done their work. Their parents have done their work. Everybody else has done their work. So now it's your turn to undo this programming and tap back into who you are. So then Vision 2 says he's a weapon to be poisoned and controlled. Hello, our food, the things we consume on television, the problems that we have in our everyday life. Those are weapons to be used to confuse our programming. If we know at the beginning, I am a perfect being, and then people look in the mirror and say I'm ugly, or I don't have enough to offer, I'm not this, I'm not that, your programming has obviously been tampered with. A virus came in. Any virus, I'm not going to be specific about the virus, came in and questioned who you thought you were. So then Vision 1 says, I'm just reiterating, he had an idea that he was the original. But upon meeting this other version, it's challenging it. And this does kind of go in with my DMT experience when I found out what I did. Because when I had my vision, everything that I thought was challenged, I'm like, I'm a mom right now. I'm a mom in this body. That's what I know. That is my physical perception right now. Right now, I see myself with my child every day. I see myself cleaning my house. I don't see myself as this beautiful celestial being who was once guiding the planet. And that's not all I saw, obviously, but I'm just going to give you guys a gist of it. It's like, how am I supposed to blend with that person, that being? I don't know how to blend with that person. I know how to wake up and clean every day. Okay. I know how to blend. I don't know how to blend those people. And this is obviously a practice that I'm learning. Learning that I can be both. I can be an essential light being who is here in this physical body right now to help guide the planet, but still be in a meat suit. It's all very possible. And the control part, like I said, a lot of that is learning to undo the programs that have been put on my grandparents, my great-grandparents, my mother. And I talked about this on a TikTok reel last night, that I had to go through the 12 stages of grief in order to come to an understanding of who I truly was. And a lot of that included anger. Anger because they don't know that a program is being run on them. They don't know that. And if I tell them that, they're going to look like, what? This is life. What do you mean it's a program? It's like, I was also watching Free Guy last night. Again, see all these movies, they can't stay out of my life. But he thought he was in a simulation, which he was, until he became sentient and he realized that he was in a program. And so when you realize that everything that has happened to your family, in your generation, in your line, in your ancestry, all of that was simply a computer program that can that can be undone with discipline, course correction, and all of that, your life changes. It becomes a different life, and you start to go back to your original origins. Hey, look, everybody's gonna see you fussy. Everybody's gonna see you fussy, girl. She doesn't care. She's like, I am still the star of the show. So let's go on. Here. Vision 1 tells Vision 2 that he is a carbon-based synthezoid. We are carbon-based. We are 6 atoms, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. We are carbon-based. So he tells him he's a carbon-based synthezoid. And his memory storage, sorry, I know you guys heard that one. I swear that was the baby. And that his memory storage is not so easily wiped. So those memories of who you were before, they live within your genetic code. The same way that the generational curses live inside of your body, so do the memories of your origins, your true origins, not just your grandparents. I mean, like, of your humanity, how you got here. And I will say, through using certain medicines, even though it can be achieved other ways, you can start to restore those memories. Sometimes with stronger tools, you can get there and see that very quickly. But with time and not using tools, over time, you'll start to really get who you are after doing a lot of research and a lot of time with self. So both are the true ship. You are both, like I said, you are both the celestial being and the physical being right now. The two have to merge in order to come into their true power. Because denying who you are, denying who a person might be, like you in your full power, not dependent on anyone else except for you, you're the one who has to lead your pack into the next generation. And whether you have children or not, you know, it's part of your programming to think that it is not within you to do great things, to achieve whatever it is that you want in this life, to become whoever it is you think that you're supposed to be. Whoever you think you're supposed to be, most likely that's who you're supposed to be. If you think and if it's something of positivity, of greatness, who are you not to think that that's not you? That is absolutely you. But when we wake up and we're encountered with lower vibrational beings or things that are going to challenge who we are, it can become really, really difficult to stay in tune with that. Okay, let's resume. So I know that it can be really difficult to remember who you are and what you're here to do on this planet. I know that every day feels like we're just running on autopilot. It's because your memories have not been restored to remember who you are. So if you're wondering, you know, how do I remember this person? Do I have to do a psychedelic? Do I have to do this? I think a lot of it is research. A lot of it is going inward, practicing breath work, learning to be still, learning to be silent, learning to ask more questions. Never stop questioning. That's what we're here to do. We're here to ask questions. We're here to figure out our existence. That's what, you know, we're the... I don't like using this very often, but it's the absolute truth. We are the walking dead. This is not a physical live plane. This is a dead plane where people are more dead than alive here because of the poison that's been in our bodies from the foods that we eat, from the entities that we encounter every day who are also forgetting their own programming as well, their original programming, that is. And yeah, it's not an easy world out here. But if you've learned anything from a lot of these movies, I'm going to show a couple clips. Show a couple of clips in the video version. These shows show you that we live in this intricate web, and all you have to do is figure out where these programs are and stop subscribing to them. And you're like, how do I just stop subscribing to a program? You train your mind to see differently. You train to do the opposite of what you're used to. I don't know if everyone has seen Everything Everywhere All at Once. If you don't, you should, and take notes, because it's a really good movie, one that you kind of have to really pay attention to in order to grasp. But one of the main characters, whenever there's a fight scene, in order to tap into his consciousness somewhere else, he has to do something that he would never do before, like give himself a paper cut or in between his fingers, or eat a piece of chapstick, like something that's completely off that would confuse the program. So for you, that could just be doing something outside of your normal everyday. Like, let's say you wake up every day, first thing you do is get on Instagram, start scrolling. Rather than do that, meditate. That's how you start tapping into that. You know, you say, oh, I want a relationship in my life, but all you do is go to the club, go to the library, go somewhere where you would want to meet someone, where you think that a lifetime partner would be for you. If you want to achieve a dream, rather than saying you can't every day, or if you don't have any money, retrain your mind to say you can. Retrain your mind to say, I already have it. You're confusing their programming by creating new programs in your life and new systems. And when you do that, you align with the vibration for those things to happen and come into your life. So it can be done, but you have to be the one to rewrite this program. Nobody is going to rewrite it for you. You can go to shamans. You can go to do energy healing and work on yourself. Hey. Let's not do that. Slamming stuff against glass. But you have to be the one to do the inner work. No one else can do that for you. Somebody can reawaken these things in you, but permanently, to change a system, you have to be the one to change it. No one else is going to do that for you. And when you realize that this is just a program being run, that you are the ship of Theseus, you are both the old ship and the new ship, the places that you can go, you'll no longer limit yourself. You'll no longer think, I can't accomplish this, or I can't do this, or it's not possible. But until then, you're going to keep cycling back into this. You're going to recycle yourself right back into this system again. But we still have time. We still have time to change ourselves. We still have time to change the program. We still have time to alter our fates. And I know some people believe, oh, fate is set. No, that's why they had three characters in the past who could control the fates. You also have some control in this. At least that's my belief. But until you step up and take the hero's journey and start to challenge these things that you question in your life, until you ask more questions and you step into action, and you become selfless, you don't do it for a reward, but you do it for others, it's life-changing. So I'm going to stop this here because I'm celebrating the fact that I gave birth today 3 years ago. So I'm going to go be with the people I love the most and enjoy my day. So I hope you all enjoyed this. Go watch that episode. It's the last episode. So if you're going to watch WandaVision, first you have to watch Age of Ultron. Then you have to watch The Avengers. Then you have to watch WandaVision. But they're all good. You're just going to have to get through them, especially if you're not a Marvel head, because I'm not. But I did enjoy them once I understood them a little bit better. But watch that, or just look up the theory about the ship of Theseus. I think it's super interesting, and it can help anyone kind of understand their existence in this life. So until next time, this has been the Tailored Healing Collective podcast. And as always, let love lead the way.